Cheers to everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell. You're watching the Stereo Picture Society, and today is going to be an album review of the new Dirty Nil album, Master Volume. This is the third full-length album from the Dirty Nil. They are an alt-rock band from Hamilton, Ontario, who've been around for a long time now. They've been around since 2006. For the first 10 years or so of them being a band, they had just released singles and EPs and went on tour and stuff. 2016 saw the release of their first full-length album, which took a lot of influence from hardcore and punk rock. Also in 2016, I happened to see the Dirty Nil without realizing it was them. They had opened for Pup when they played their last show at Danforth on, I think it was like December 16 of that year. In 2017, they released an album just of their singles and EPs so far, and they also won a Juno for being the Breakthrough Group of the Year. The band has just been signed to Dynalone Records, and Master Volume now is their first album on the label. Now, for being around for 12 years now, the Dirty Nil is pretty competent at what they can do as a band. The band is a trio of guitar, bass, and drums centered around Luke Bentham, who also has a killer screaming and singing voice and can really hit high notes up there really well. And in my opinion, Luke's singing and the riffs that we hear on the albums are what Dirty Nil fans are looking for from their music. But it's not that the band has been sloppy in the past, they've just been kind of carefree and showing their DIY roots. On Higher Power, there were a lot of moments in the tail end of the album that showed them like just talking in the studio, and they'd record it. They'd be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 during a song. They'd be saying, no, it's that part. And I understand if that's the tone of that album, but Master Volume doesn't see any of that. This new album shows the Dirty Nil being really confident and really absolute in what they want in their songwriting and the production on the album. I see this confidence most in the choruses on the album. A lot of choruses on here are really loud, really high, and just really catchy too. And these choruses show a lot of really cool hooks, such as on Pain of Infinity and off Wiedersehen. Let's do whatever you want, whatever you want, whatever you want. The song Always High is an excellent example of how the Nil frame their riffs towards the stressed syllables of the chorus, as the chorus is switching back and forth from 3/4 and 2/4 time to match the sentence that the chorus is going off of. There's also some cool off-time signature riffs on bridges and like final sections of songs, such as on Please Please Me. And we get this on the final track too, Hit the Lights. It's almost like the band is shaving off any excess fat from the songs that they feel is too redundant or just doesn't fit well. And I think it's a good move to make for a pretty smart and more of an attention-grabbing listen. Lyrically, we see Luke singing in a much more mature and self-aware voice than on previous records. On previous Dirty Nil albums and singles, there was a tone that was much more suited to being a slacker and heartbreak. But on here, it's definitely a few shades more mature and definitely aware of just not really giving a shit about what you feel like. Or at least coming to terms with an understanding that you're rough around the edges, that you're crass, that you live life the hard way. And this is definitely the tone on one of my favorites off of here, Off Wiedersehen, which is a slow song in 3/4 time that is pretty much showing a dichotomy of both empathy and compassion with a friend, but also like just basically saying F off, like I'll see you in hell. This crass attitude is also shown on the first 2 tracks on the album. And these kind of go along the theme of like driving, kind of burning yourself out a little bit. I really get that vibe off of the first song, That's What Heaven Feels Like. And I think the chorus on Bathed in Light addresses this theme really well. I see more self-aware but catchy lyrics on the next song, Pain of Infinity. And like, I don't want to be that critic that makes this big grand statement about an album, but it really seems to me that Luke is trying to deal with how frustration and pain seems to be feeling okay for him. I'm sure it's a pretty interesting position to be for him while he was writing this and coming up with these. The second half of the album deals with songs that are more subjective to other people than the first half. This half opens up with the song Always High, where Luke is talking about this one person. He's working a lot at a job that he hates, and he used to be this one friend of Luke's that was always dreaming and wide-eyed, but now he's just kind of settled in his ways and really just killing himself with stress as he's trying to get through life and, you know, using pot and alcohol to get him through it. The next song, Smoking is Magic, counters kind of the themes of Always High. It's this moderately fast song that's more or less about leaving the anarchists that aren't really doing anything with his life, or just trying to pick a bone with Luke, just saying, I'll see you later. Luke saying that he has the maturity now to leave those kind of toxic people. No matter what kind of position that these people who are slacking and just getting high, but also like trying to confront the world with their positions. Luke just saying, nope, I'm pretty good now, and I got better people to hang out with. Another one of my favorite songs on here is I Don't Want That Phone Call. It's another subjective song that addresses a friend that is just about to like totally go over the ship on drugs and alcohol. Luke's saying that he doesn't want to be serious, but he really wants to address his concern to his friend, saying, you better straighten up because I don't want to get that call saying that you're dead. My only concern with this track is that I wish it was longer because it's just over 2 minutes, but it's a really good vibe and I just want to hear it again and again. Near the tail end of the album, we get the song Evil Side, which is, you know, your slow song at the end of your mayhem of a punk rock album. It's this really sweet kind of love ballad where the band is just talking about having partners that will go through things like walking through graveyards and being romantic, that kind of wicked and nihilist kind of themes, and hoping that they won't just run away just like the others always do. I really like how the final section of the song just builds with these tremoloed guitars and then this modulation that comes afterwards. Now, this would be any other album's ending track, as I previously said, but the Dirty Nell come forward again with a last song, Hit the Lights. It pretty much starts kind of like an encore to Evil Side, as if they ended Evil Side and then got off the stage and then came back on stage and started Hit the Lights. And Lights is this pretty fast 3-minute song that just is all about them being on stage and rocking. It kind of has a cool 80s feel to it. It's also pretty Motorhead of a track too, if the bass had only been just a little bit higher, but you know, it's cool. I also like how it sounds like the other band members are finally singing on this track. This is something that I kind of thought they would do for the whole album, but it only feels like Luke was singing and just like double tracking himself throughout the entire thing. After multiple listens, I kind of got the kind of vibe that is like the album is about traveling. I think the album is a really good thing to have on while you're traveling, whether you're on a longboard or you're in a van getting to your gig. I felt that Hit the Lights was that one pump up song to listen to, you know, before you got out of the car, so that you're all pumped up to be in the concert venue, to be at the gig and, you know, say hi, meet friends, and just have a good time. All in all, I really like how mature but fun and entertaining and like hardcore the Dirty Nell sound on this record. I feel like any improvements that they could have made from Higher Power were checked off and made on this album. I really like how the trio work really hard to sound together on this album. There's not really a seamless moment that feels like things are falling apart, and there definitely isn't a moment where Luke is faltering in his singing. It's just a hard, punk-influenced rock band from Hamilton that just sound killer, and I wish them all the best. I hope that their tour is going really well. I hope that Luke doesn't burn out on his vocals, and I definitely will listen to this album again, and I definitely will catch them live one more time. Out of my handy-dandy enjoyment chart, I'm giving these guys a strong 2 stars. So congratulations to Luke, Ross, and Kyle, you guys on the album. Hope to see you guys pretty soon. And if you liked my video, make sure to like and share and subscribe. You can subscribe. You can subscribe to my channel. Just click the link on the bottom right. Please make sure to follow some of my other videos, please. You can also follow me on Twitter, and I hope you all are having a really good day. Cheers again for watching. My name has been Mitchell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!